Welcome back. Now time for the morning rush. We have an opportunity for showers and storms this afternoon. Look at future radar around 2. You can see isolated activity developing across the northern high terrain as well as southwestern New Mexico. Let's fast forward this just a tad and you can see the showers and storms sticking around through 6:30. That's when we see some showers and storms trying to dance around Albuquerque as well as Santa Fe. Crystal.
Topping off our morning rush, the tragic mass shooting and the 20 lives lost in El Paso. 21-year-old Patrick Crucius waking up in federal custody, accused in that killing and injuring dozens more at the El Paso Walmart. Right now, federal prosecutors treating the mass shooting as domestic terrorism. The FBI launching a civil rights hate crime investigation. Police say the suspect left a document denouncing the increasing Hispanic population in Texas. Many from New Mexico say they're standing in solidarity this morning with the city of El Paso. This as a memorial for the victims continues to grow outside of the shopping center where tragedy struck. Last night, hundreds held hands crying together to remember the 20 innocent lives lost. In the meantime, happening tonight, an Albuquerque City Councilor, Isaac Benton, he plans to introduce a resolution in response to this weekend's mass shootings. The resolution asks the state to allow concerned families and law enforcement to keep someone who may be suicidal or violent from having a gun. Benton says it is needed amid a behavioral health crisis. In Washington, D.C., Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer calling on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to call an emergency session on gun control. This comes in the wake of the pair of mass shootings over the weekend in the U.S. The Senate currently in recess. No word yet from McConnell on whether he will call for that emergency session. Our coverage of the mass shootings in America over the weekend continues throughout the day right here on KRQE News 13. For more pictures, videos, and additional information, stay up to date with us on air, online, and on our KRQE News app. Chris,
let's go look at that Metro Threat Index today. It's at a 3 because not only are we talking about the possibility of a few afternoon showers and storms, but those temperatures are going to be above average. Keep in mind any storm can produce cloud to ground lightning, and you definitely want to stay hydrated and make sure you wear the sunscreen. Crystal.
The local news for you. Police looking for information that left a teen dead in Rio Rancho. Police say they found 17-year-old Tristan Huzar with multiple gunshot wounds in a car near 550 on Saturday night. At last check, police have not identified a suspect in this case. If you know anything about it, you're asked to call Rio Rancho police. This morning, many New Mexico high school programs being canceled. The New Mexican reports declining student athlete participation is to blame as schools struggle to find football players to fill their teams. For more details, go to alwaysonkrqe.com. A state corrections officer returning to his job despite accusations he sexually abused an inmate. The ACLU of New Mexico now suing that employee at the Springer Correctional Center, who a former inmate says used his power to sexually abuse her for months. ACLU says this is their second lawsuit this year against the state's Department of Corrections. Also new for you this morning, U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich calling for a vote to protect elections from foreign interference. Last week, Senator Mitch McConnell blocked legislation that Heinrich says would have protected elections from meddling. I would say election meddling. The Journal reports the New Mexico lawmaker is now calling on a vote for the legislation. We're looking ahead for you here. An airport in Hobbs, New Mexico will begin offering flights to and from Denver. The Hobbs News Sun reports the Lee County Board of Directors approved a proposal to add Denver to their United Airlines contract. The nonstop flight will begin in October. Also looking ahead for you, City of Albuquerque says it will soon be training its employees to better update their purchases on the city's website. News 13 found out of the 2 highest expenses, they're not exactly clear. In 2019, the city dished out millions on unclassified and miscellaneous items. City says it will start training its employees to better categorize their spending. Here's something new for you. Billy the Kid expert weighing in on the state's most famous outlaw 138 years after his death. Although known for his life of crime, local historian Paul Hutton says there's a lot people don't know about Billy, like his love for dance, and he was fluent in Spanish. He is still a dark spirit, though. Here's a dark side to him that's being remembered. If you want more on his story, go to our website, alwaysonkrqe.com. Chris.
Let's get a look at that morning drive. Everything moving very nicely out there along I-25 as well as I-40. No major accidents or slowdowns being reported at this time. Your Taking a live look at News Tracker, we're heading eastbound on I-40 approaching the Big I. Crystal, that does it for traffic. Back to you.
In our morning rush, Belize Tourism offering a sweet deal for residents of Rachel, Nevada. This as the area expects loads of tourists to storm Area 51. In an effort to escape it all, Belize is welcoming residents with 10 free tickets to the Caribbean country. The trip will cover airfare and lodging.
Welcome back. Time now for the 5 facts. And at number 5, a Billy the Kid expert is weighing in on the state's most famous outlaw 138 years after his death. Paul Hutton says there is a lot that people just don't know about the outlaw. Hutton says the kid fought on the side of poor ranchers as well as Hispanic sheep herders, and he also was fluent in Spanish. Billy is often remembered for his dark side. Hutton says he was a deadly young man. The anniversary of Billy the Kid's death just passed.
Number 4 now today, a New Mexico man stuck in a Mexican hospital for weeks is expected to come back home. Earlier this month, News 13 reported that the family of Eber Vizcanos started fundraising to pay his Mexico City hospital bill after he got sick on a family vacation. The payment was required up front. Vizcanos' sister-in-law says that they raised enough money. He will fly back to Presbyterian tonight.
And at number 3, an opportunity for showers and storms again this afternoon. Best chance across northern and western New Mexico, but there is an isolated storm threat for Santa Fe as well as the Albuquerque metro.
Number 2 now, in the wake of the mass shootings in El Paso and in Dayton, Ohio, an Albuquerque city councilor is responding with legislation. Tonight, Councilor Isaac Benton plans on introducing a resolution in support of the so-called extreme firearm protection order, asking the state to allow concerned families and law enforcement to keep someone who may be suicidal or violent from having a gun. It's an order that was struck down in the last legislative session. Benton says it is needed amid a behavioral health crisis. On to number 1 now. This morning, the grieving continues in El Paso. Federal prosecutors treating a deadly shooting at an El Paso Walmart as domestic terrorism. Authorities say a Texas man is in custody. That man is 21-year-old Patrick Crucius, accused of opening fire with a rifle lawfully purchased and legal to carry in that state. Authorities say he walked into the crowded shopping center, opening fire, killing 20 people and injuring dozens of others.